Welcome everyone to an English lesson. Now let's continue the lesson Androcles and the lion. So in the last part we just read up to how Androcles is taken to the lion and thrown in the stadium. He is standing there waiting for the lion to come and attack him. It was either life or death for Androcles. Page 10 in the textbook. Androcles lifted his head and looked around. He saw a huge lion in one corner of the stadium. The lion was thin and looked starved. It was hungry and roaring in anger. It saw Androcles standing at the center of the stadium. The lion came charging towards Androcles. Poor Androcles closed his eyes and prayed. Androcles lifted his head and looked around. He saw a huge lion in one corner of the stadium. The lion was thin and looked starved. It was hungry and roaring in anger. It saw Androcles standing at the center of the stadium. The lion came charging towards Androcles. Poor Androcles closed his eyes and prayed. Now Androcles was in the center of the stadium and he looks around and he sees a lion roaring in anger and sitting in one corner. The lion was looking very thin, that means the lion was starved for food, very hungry, and it was roaring in anger. Now the lion, it comes charging at great speed. It came towards Androcles and Androcles was 100% sure that death was approaching him. So he just closed his eyes and he prayed, waiting for his end to come. Next page. The lion came nearer and nearer. Androcles could feel the lion's breath on his face. The lion came right up to Androcles and stopped. To the great surprise of the excited Romans, the lion began to purr like a kitten. It went up to Androcles and licked him and rubbed against him happily. Next page. The lion came nearer and nearer. Androcles could feel the lion's breath on his face. The lion came right up to Androcles and stopped. To the great surprise of the excited Romans, the lion began to purr like a kitten. It went up to Androcles and licked him and rubbed against him happily. Now the lion came charging towards Androcles and the face of the lion was so near the face of Androcles that Androcles could hear the lion breathing and he could feel the hot breath of the lion on his face. But immediately, to the great surprise of all the Romans gathered round, the lion stopped roaring and began making a sound like a kitten, that is purring like a kitten. It went up to Androcles and licked him. Now the lion became so gentle an animal that it went up to Androcles and licked him and rubbed his body against Androcles. Now in the textbook you can see Androcles sitting on the back of the lion and triumphantly going around in the stadium. Androcles opened his eyes and there in front of him was the lion he had helped in the forest. Androcles played with the lion. He then got onto the lion's back and rode around the stadium. No one dared stop him. And that is how Androcles' small act of kindness to an animal helped him get his freedom. Androcles opened his eyes and there in front of him was the lion he had helped in the forest. Androcles played with the lion. He then got onto the lion's back and rode around the stadium. No one dared stop him. And that is how Androcles' small act of kindness to an animal helped him get his freedom. Now the same lion was there, the one that was helped by Androcles in the forest. So the lion was so very grateful for Androcles for taking out the thorn that it began licking Androcles, and then Androcles climbed on the back of the lion and went round the stadium, waving to everyone around, showing that he and the lion were friends. Now here we find that this lion showed its gratitude to Androcles for taking out the thorn that was stuck in his paw. And eventually this made Androcles get his freedom. Because the law was that if he won the fight with the lion, he would be set free, or else the lion would kill him, and that is the end. But here the lion showed his gratitude. The lion did not kill Androcles, and Androcles got his freedom. With this, we come to the end of the lesson. Now let's go on to the exercises. Draw a line and join the two parts of each sentence. 1. Androcles had to fight a lion with his bare hands. 2. The lion was thin and looked starved. 3. The lion began to purr like a kitten. 4. Androcles' small act of kindness helped him win his freedom. 5. No one dared stop Androcles. Let's go to the next page. B. Write T for the true statements and F for the false statements. 1. Androcles was a runaway slave. It is true. He had run away from his master's home. 2. The lion was a trained animal. No, it was a wild animal. 3rd one. The Romans wanted to see how Androcles would protect himself from a lion. No, they wanted to see how he would be killed by a lion, and they wanted to enjoy that. So it's false. 4th one. Androcles ran away after seeing a lion in the stadium. False. He had to stand there. He couldn't run away. 5th one. Androcles and the lion became friends. It is true. Now coming to C, answer the following questions. Who was Androcles and what happened when he was hiding in the forest? Now Androcles was a runaway slave, and he heard a lion roaring in pain when he was in the forest. 2. How did Androcles help the lion? Androcles pulled out the thorn that was stuck in the lion's paw. 3. Why was Androcles put in prison? He was put in prison because he was a runaway slave. He had run away from his master's house. What did hundreds of Romans gather to watch? They all wanted to watch Androcles being killed by the lion. They found pleasure in that. 5th one. What happened when the lion came to attack Androcles? The lion came charging, but immediately it calmed down and began licking Androcles, and the lion and Androcles became friends. Now, HOTS, form two groups. Imagine you saw a dog with a deep wound in one of its legs. Talk about how you would nurse it. The best part is you need to, if the dog is a tame dog or a stray dog, we do not know, but then you could inform a veterinary person by your house, or even you could, if it's a tame dog or a domestic dog, you could approach the dog very mildly, very slowly with a little bit of food, and then try to wash the wound with a little of antiseptic lotion, and then if possible try to put a bandage. But if it's a stray dog, I wouldn't advise any of you to go near the stray dog. It may attack you. Vocabulary. Now use the dictionary to write the plural forms of these words. Now this is homework for you. You will have to use a dictionary right now and do it yourself in the textbook as well as in the notebook, and take a photo and send to the concerned teacher. This is your homework, and I want you to look up the dictionary and do this work. It's not going to be very easy, nor is it very difficult, but I want you to do this on your own. I'm not going to give you any answers right now. Going on to the next page, pronunciation, silent K. The K is not pronounced. Repeat after your teacher. Knack. Please don't say knack. K is silent. Knack. Knob. Knee. Knife. Kneel. Knot. Listening and speaking. Form pairs and practice the dialogues. Continue the conversation with different situations. I have cut my finger. Let me bandage it for you. I have lost my pen. Let me search it out for you. I have broken the plate. Let me help you pick up the broken pieces. So these are the different ways you have to say the dialogue and practice at home. Language and grammar. Read the following sentence. He listened to the roaring lion. Here the word listen tells us what Androcles was doing. Listen is a verb. A verb is an action word. A verb is a doing word. It shows what action a person or a thing is doing. Now I am speaking. That is a verb. It is an action that I am doing. Speaking. It is a verb. Underline the verbs in these sentences. The lion licked Androcles. Licked is the verb. 2. Androcles stood in the stadium. The past tense of stand is stood. Stood is the verb. Third, a huge crowd gathered. That means a huge crowd came around. Gathered is there. Fourth one, Androcles rode around the stadium. The past tense of ride is rode. So rode is the verb. Fifth one, Androcles closed his eyes, prayed and waited. You have closed, you have prayed, you have waited. Sixth one, the lion was roaring in anger. Roaring is the sound made by the lion here, so it's a verb. The seventh one, Androcles played with the lion. Played is also a verb. Next page, page 14. Use verbs to complete these sentences. Now you can use the verbs as you wish. I have just completed according to the way I do it. The cat sat on the shelf. 2. The lion walked up and down in the cage. 3. The frightened girls ran as fast as they could. 4. Mother works in the kitchen. 5. The river flowed over sand and pebbles. 6. Rohan tore, T-O-R-E, the paper into pieces. C. Fill in the blanks with was or were. Was is single, were is plural. I was playing. 2. You were playing. 3. He was playing. 4. She was playing. 5. It was playing. 6. We were playing. Now writing practice. In your notebook, write the summary of the story Androcles and the Lion in about 150 words. Now this is a homework. I am not pressurizing all of you to do it. Please by any way don't download the story from the internet. Because if you do it, we know it, because your language is really going to be different from what is in the internet. Please write your own story. Let there be mistakes, doesn't matter. We appreciate your lesson with mistakes rather than sending us a write-up without any mistakes. Next one, values for life. Suppose you are playing in a garden. There you see a puppy or kitten stuck in a bush. Will you help it come out of the bush or continue to play? Why? You should try to help the puppy come out of the bush so that it does not get hurt. And if you do it, it's a good deed. You're showing your kindness to the animal there. Activity. Find out and write 10 interesting facts about lions. You may collect information from various sources such as the internet or a reference book from a school library. Use your own words to write the fact. Do not copy and paste. So this is an activity for you to do. You have to find out from the internet 10 interesting facts about lions. Please don't copy from the internet. Read it and make your own sentence and write it in the notebook. So the homework for what you have to do is in the notebook will be A on page 11, B and C on page 12. Vocabulary you have to find out for yourself by looking up a dictionary and complete it. Then you have to do B and C on page 14 in the notebook. And for those who can try to write the summary of the story Androcles and the Lion in 150 words, do so. Again I tell you, please don't copy word to word, line to line from the internet and send it to the teacher. Thank you.